Ever think about how one person, in one single moment, by ignoring one computer, could have saved your life? Well, it's a true story, and it reveals a level of intelligence that most of us never tap into, the ability to upgrade the most complex system you'll ever use, your own mind.
All right, so let's get right into this. We're going to go back to a single night that brought the entire world to the absolute brink of nuclear war. Now, this isn't just a history lesson, it's a lesson in a totally different kind of intelligence.
So, picture this. The time is just after midnight. You're inside a top-secret Soviet command center, and the air is just thick with tension. The fate of the entire world literally rests on the technology in this room and on the man who's watching it.
And then, suddenly, the silence is just shattered. Alarms are blaring, screens are flashing bright red. The satellite system has detected an incoming missile from the United States. And then another one, and another. Within minutes, the system confirms it. 5 inbound nuclear missiles.
Okay, so the computer's decision is crystal clear. This is a real attack. And the military protocol? It's just as clear. Launch a massive retaliatory strike right now. The officer on duty, Stanislav Petrov, has only a few minutes to act. Now put yourself in his seat for a second. What would you do?
But here's the thing. Petrov didn't just follow the protocol. He engaged a much higher level of thought. He asked a question the computer was never, ever programmed to consider. If this was a real all-out nuclear attack, why would you start with just 5 missiles? It just didn't make any sense.
In that one critical moment, Petrov chose to trust his own reasoning over the machine's screaming warnings, and he reported it as a false alarm. And you know what? He was right. It was a glitch caused by sunlight reflecting off of clouds. What he showed there is something called metacognitive intelligence. It's the ability to see the limits of any system, whether it's a computer or our own brain.
Now this is where it gets really personal. We all operate within systems like that, but the most powerful ones aren't outside of us. Nope, they're the invisible loops running inside our own minds, silently directing our behavior every single day.
You know, for example, have you ever gotten some feedback and your first instinct is to just get defensive? Instead of actually learning from it, you end up in the exact same argument over and over again. Well, that's the ego loop. It's designed to protect your ego, not to help you improve.
Or what about that one really important but kind of scary task you keep putting off? Yeah, avoiding it feels good for a second, right? But the problem only gets bigger, and slowly, that fear starts to draw the boundaries of your whole life. That, my friends, is the fear loop.
And of course, there's the one we all know, the habit loop. You pick up your phone for just 5 minutes, and then bam, 2 hours have vanished. You're filled with regret, you promise you'll do better tomorrow, only to do the exact same thing. And get this, a Duke University study found that up to 45% of our daily actions aren't conscious decisions at all, they're just habits.
So why? Why does our brain create these loops? Well, to understand that, we have to wrap our heads around a truly mind-bending idea. You don't actually experience reality directly. What you experience is your brain's prediction of it.
Take a look at this rotating mask. As it turns around, I want you to pay really close attention to the hollow inner side. Logically, it should look caved in, curved inwards, right?
But that is not what you see. For almost everyone, the hollow side of that mask seems to pop out, looking just like a normal face pointing towards you. Your brain is actively overriding what's really there. So what in the world is going on?
This is something called predictive processing. See, your brain isn't a passive camera just recording the world. It's an active simulator. It builds a model based on all your past experiences. In this case, a whole lifetime of seeing faces that point outwards, and it predicts that's what you should be seeing. And when reality doesn't match the prediction, sometimes it's just easier for your brain to change reality than to update its own model.
And here's where it all comes together. All of these loops, all of these predictions, these reality distortions, they are all run by a single master operating system in your brain.
And that is your identity. This is so important. Your identity isn't some vague philosophical idea. It is your brain's master predictive model. It's the filter through which you interpret absolutely everything, and it decides which mental loops, which behaviors and beliefs get to run the show.
This completely changes how we should think about intelligence. Seriously, it's not about how much you know, it's not about your IQ score. The real test is something much more fundamental.
Real intelligence is adaptation. It's your ability to update your core model, your identity, when reality demands it. Think about it.
Billions of years ago, life on Earth faced a crisis when oxygen, which was a poison to early life, filled the atmosphere. The only life that survived was the life that adapted. Reality's ultimate test is always adaptation.
Okay, so if the highest form of intelligence is being able to adapt our own identity, how do we actually do it? How do we consciously go in and rewire that master model? Well, it turns out it comes down to a really practical three-step process. And here it is. We call it the adaptive intelligence loop. Now, this isn't just a simple list, it's a powerful cycle. It starts with your mindset. You have to decide to be adaptable. Then you shape your social circle to support that decision. And finally, you lock it all in with repeated actions, which in turn strengthen your mindset, starting the whole loop all over again.
Let's just focus on the power of your environment for a second. Look at these numbers on quitting smoking. The success rate for trying to quit all by yourself, it's incredibly low, only about 5 to 8%. But when people join a support community, that rate literally triples, jumping to 15 to 25%. Your environment makes the identity you want to have feel normal.
And this quote just brilliantly nails the final crucial step. According to self-perception theory, you don't find your identity by looking deep inside yourself. You build it. Your brain actually watches what you do, and then it concludes, well, if I'm consistently doing this, then this must be who I am. Identity doesn't come first. Action comes first.
So in the end, it all comes back to this. The world is changing faster than ever, and your ability to thrive really depends on your ability to update your internal operating system. The most intelligent person isn't the one with the most information in their head. It's the one who can unlearn and relearn the fastest. So the real question for you is, how fast can you change?